So today we will be talking about detoxing. Is it a safe thing to do at any stage in life? Is it a natural way to do it? Is it even worth the hype? And you hear about all these different practices that people do. How safe is it? How is our body tolerating this detoxification process? So I actually get this question every time I speak in a conference or in a small workshop or in group coaching classes. That, can we try this detoxification process? Can we do this? And half of the time, I'm actually not too sure what it is people are doing out there. And you know what? I know that a number of us get exposed to information online, and it's really important. I mean, I'm a doctor, I'm on YouTube, I give information. There's so many other different people who give information. Half of the time, they're selling products, so they would probably scare you like this thing. If you don't buy it, it's not going to work. You're not going to get better. So it's really important to verify information before we empty our wallets. We empty our wallets and buy very expensive products, but do they really do what they say they do? Or are they causing more damage in the body? Well, today I would like to talk about how the body naturally cleanses itself, how the body naturally detoxifies itself, particularly how we can boost this process that already occurs in the body. So let me give you an example to start us off. You know how they test for chemicals or drugs in athletes, and what do they test? They test their urine. That gives you an idea of what the body is capable of doing. The body is actually capable of removing harmful substances naturally through the various organs in our body. Now, strictly medically speaking, detoxification occurs in supervised settings inside the hospital, especially for people who have very high levels or actually harmful levels of chemicals in their bodies. So, chemicals like alcohol or drugs or poison. It's really important to remove these substances from the body in a medical way that is supervised on in the hospital wards. And it's not just through medication. There are a number of different ways that these harmful substances are removed. And that is what we actually call detoxification or detox. But I do know that in our society, we have a lot of information at the tips of our finger, and we like doing things ourselves, and we also like, we like immediate results with some of these things we do, don't we? Okay, I'm like that. I myself have actually bought detoxing products and detoxing diet, mainly just to keep myself healthy, to keep my body working in the right order. But I actually think about it. Is it possible that I'm causing more damage to my body by taking some products that I really don't know what they've mixed together? And this is where I really want to encourage you that, you know what? The body has its own natural way of cleaning itself. All we need to do is boost these levels up. And if for any reason these systems are not working properly, then we should be seeking for help. But the last thing you want to do is damaging this natural way of the body cleaning itself, both knowingly and unknowingly, through our health behaviors. Okay, so we've talked about how medically we do detoxification in a supervised way in the hospital. So the question is, why do we then need to use special diets or special products, or even for some people I hear people use, oxygen detoxing, colon detoxing. In fact, some people have a whole body detoxing regime, which I find fascinating, to be honest with you. And the question is, do these things really work, or are we just spending our money in in an unknowing way? Are we being taken advantage of? So I want us to be really careful. Make sure you buy things from verifiable sources. Look at the research behind them. Ask questions. Make sure it is the right thing for you before you end up spending so much money. I myself, I know, generally speaking, that yes, we are exposed to toxins, no doubt about it. The amount of plastic that we use is in the world now is a lot more than generations before us, and plastics don't even decompose naturally. So what happens? Some of this plastic end up in our waterways, they end up in the food we eat. So yes, we're exposed to toxins, no doubt about it. But we need to believe in our body. Our body is naturally made to defend itself, to clean itself. So let's think of ways of boosting our natural defense mechanisms, so to speak. Now, there are 6 ways the body does this. The 6 important organs. The first one is the liver. The liver is a big organ, no doubt about it. It's there in our abdomen on the right. I'm sure you know where it is. But it produces some special proteins and some special enzymes that actually helps to remove and neutralize all these harmful chemicals that find its way into the bloodstream. Before these things get to the bloodstream, there are several organs, there are several, barriers that these things have to cross through before they actually get to the liver. By the time they are getting to the liver is ready for them, so to speak, and it neutralizes and gets rid of these harmful substances in our body system. The kidney, we've already talked about, is another organ. And we've mentioned how in athletes, they even test for drugs or chemicals. So that shows you how powerful the kidney is in removing all these products or plastics or chemicals that are in our body system. Now, what about the intestines? Obviously, what we eat has to pass through the intestinal barrier. And there are these important glands, and they're called the Peyer's patches. These are very, very important on creating a barrier between the outside world, what we eat, and also what comes into our body system. Now, they have a very important function, and they prevent pathogens from coming into the bloodstream or before our nutrition is absorbed. But they also help to keep the gut bacteria intact as well. And the gut bacteria play a very important role in our body's defense mechanism as well. Now, the skin, that's the fourth one. We've talked about the liver, the kidney, the intestines. The skin is the fourth one, is the largest organ in the body. It forms a very important barrier between the outside world and the inside world and stops things from getting into our body. But it's a one-way system in a way, so to speak. Obviously, we sweat, but we're not sweating out like toxins or stuff like that. So when you go and buy a product and they tell you that it's sucking things out of your skin, I'll be very careful about that one, Be very careful about that, because what is it sucking out of your body? Because the skin is made in such a way that it controls things coming in and it keeps things in. It stops things from leaking out. But there are other ways the body manages to get rid of things once they come into the body. Now, we've talked about all these things, but there are 2 other ways. The respiratory system, we have fine air inside our nose, and this helps to catch particles before they get into the lungs. Obviously, some of the particles to get through and get into the lungs, and that's where they get trapped in mucus. And then the mucus, we tend to just kind of cough these things up, and then we notice our sputum, and oh my word, look at that sputum, look at the color. But the important thing here is, so for instance, when people smoke, it damages these barriers, especially in the respiratory system. So that's why it's really important to know what your barriers are in your body, and to protect and maintain this, so to speak, fences. Now, the last one is our immune system. Our immune system is like the policeman inside our body, delicately doing like an internal surveillance trying to pick up any abnormal cells, plastic, whatever chemicals that have leaked into the bloodstream in spite of all these barriers that are in place. So those are 6 ways that the body naturally cleanses itself. So to me, it makes common sense that these 6 ways, we need to maintain the integrity of these 6 things. And how can we maintain it? First of all, if you're healthy, you can maintain these six defense systems in our body by making sure you have a healthy diet. That's why we go on about eating healthy meals, making sure you have like fruits and vegetables and a lot of plants with different colors in your diet. The second way, obviously, is exercising. The more we exercise, our immune system works better, our blood circulation improves, and even our breathing rate is better. So there is exercise, there is resting well, sleeping well, so that the body can hoover up itself when we're sleeping and clean up itself when we're sleeping. Obviously, when you are not well or even going for your medical checkups is really important so that they can detect any abnormality in your body system quickly, and you can start making corrections early. Now, obviously, if you are not feeling well, if you are fatigued or you've noticed a change in your bowel habits or you're bloated or you're having issues one way or the other, going to a detox spa is not the first thing you should do. You should please go and speak to your medical professional to help you. Now, I hope with these few points of mine, so to speak, I've been able to convince you to look after yourself, especially when you're in midlife. Now, to help you understand this better, I will be talking to 2 very interesting colleagues. One of them is a doctor, the other person is a beauty expert, and they will be speaking to us about how to identify those things that we should be avoiding, whether in our food, our diet, but also how to reduce the risk of toxins getting into our body. Again, all of this is natural things you should do, natural ways of boosting your body's defense mechanism. So that's it from me today. Thank you for listening. I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things from my episode today. Why don't you kind of chat me up and let me know what you've learned? And please remember to subscribe and share this episode with your friends and loved one. It's me once again. It's Dr. Jaye. Thank you for listening.